This chapter's project is going to be an HTML5 mobile application. Alright, so we're going to create a very simple to-do app using HTML5 along with jQuery mobile. Alright, and it's not going to be, we're not going to convert it into an Android or an iOS app or anything like that. Although you could do that using PhoneGap or Intel XDK or something like that. But we're just going to create basically the HTML5 version, and we will be able to run it in a browser, and we can use an emulator like Ripple, which will show us how it would work on a mobile phone. So basically kind of like a simulation. If you used jQuery mobile before, then you shouldn't have an issue. It's pretty easy, especially what we're going to be doing. Basically, we're going to have a home page where it lists our to-dos, just the name and the date, and then we'll have an add page where we can add a new to-do, and we'll have an edit page where we can edit our to-dos. And we're going to be implementing HTML5 local storage. That's what's going to hold the to-dos. And where instead of using a standard key value pair like you usually do in local storage, we're going to use a JSON string, and we're going to use a couple different special functions so that we can store the to-dos in basically in one value. Alright, so let's take a look at it. Okay, so I just called it mobile to-do, and if we open up the index page, basically this is it. Let me make this a little smaller because this is meant for a mobile device. Okay, so basically we have a title or a heading, we have an add to do button, we have a clear all to dos button, and then we have a filter where we can filter our different to dos. Alright, so let's go ahead and add one. You can see it takes us to a new page, but these pages are all embedded in the index.html. We don't actually have an an add page. I'll show you how we do that in a few minutes. So let's just make it to do. We'll say pick up kids. Okay, we'll choose a date. Let's say that's tomorrow, and click save. And now you can see that we have our pick up kids. Alright, let's add another one. We'll say dinner with wife, and we'll make that for Wednesday. Save, and now you can see we have dinner with wife. Now we can use this search or filter functionality as well. So if I type in dinner, it's going to just bring up to-dos with dinner. Alright, and there's no special programming with this. It's basically built into right into the jQuery mobile framework, so that's really cool. To edit, let's say we want to edit pick up the kids, and let's say pick up the kids at school. Okay, so we'll save that, and now we have pick up the kids at school. And the way I have it is the order is the order in which you edit these or create these to-dos by. Since I just saved the pick up kids one, then it moves to the top. Alright, so obviously you can have different kinds of ordering and sorting if you want, but that's just the way that I did it. Alright, so basically we just have the name and the date for the to-dos. So very simple. We can go ahead and simulate this with Ripple, which is a Google Chrome app. And actually you need to have it on a server, so really quick I'm just going to move it to my XAMPP server. Let's see, we'll create a new folder. I'll just call it to do. Paste that in. Okay, so the tasks aren't there anymore because we actually moved the site to the server. But let's emulate this with Ripple. Okay, so you can see it looks much like a mobile app. We'll add it to do. Okay, there it is. Okay, we can visit the app. We can, I'll say something else too. Okay, so that edits it. We can delete it. Alright, we can clear them all. Okay, so you can see that everything's working really well on the mobile phone. So let's go back to, let's get out of this, and we're going to create our new structure. As always, I'm going to take the finished product and just tack on done. Okay, and we'll create a new folder. Alright, so we're going to need our index file, of course. And we want a CSS, JavaScript, I think, and an images folder, which I'm not even sure if we're using images. Alright, we're using images from the JQuery mobile interface. Alright, so we want to get the JQuery mobile framework. Alright, so let's go ahead and do latest stable. You can do a custom download if you want to pick and choose your components, but we don't really need, that's not really important for us right now. So I'm going to download the package. Okay, so you should get something like this. Alright, so we're going to pick and choose some things out of here and bring it to our application. Okay, so let's go to the JavaScript folder, and we want jQuery mobile.js. Well, actually, you'll have the version.js right here. Okay, so we want that, and that's really it. That's all we really want. So let's just copy that, paste that in here. Alright, now we also need the regular jQuery file. You can go to jQuery.com and get it, but I'm just going to grab it from the finished. Alright, and we want to create a custom. We'll call this main.js. Alright, so we need couple other things. CSS, we want to get the jQuery mobile CSS. Now, depending when you're watching this, you may have another version. Currently, the latest version is 1.4.2. So I'm going to grab that and just paste that in here. And we also want to create our own style sheet. Alright, so images, I'm not sure if these are the same ones as the ones we want. Let me just check the done. Action black, action white. Alright, yeah, so let's grab all these images here. Okay. And I just want to grab this loader GIF. Alright, so that's good. Now let's open up our index file. I'm just going to paste in HTML5 shell. Alright, so we set in the character set, and we want to set this the viewport meta tag because we want this to look good on mobile devices, so we're going to set the width to whatever the device width is. Alright, let's give it a title. We'll just say mobile to do. Alright, now we want to link all of our style sheets and JavaScripts. Okay, so let's do the style sheets. Okay, let's do the JQuery one first. JQuery dot mobile dash 1.4.2 .css. Alright. We also want to include our custom CSS file, which is called style. Okay, that's our style sheets. Now we want our JavaScript, so let's include JQuery first. Regular JQuery. Okay, next we want mobile. Mobile 1.4.2.js, and then we want our main JavaScript. Alright, so that's good. Let's save this and make sure that these files are all there and connected correctly. If we open up if we open up the console, okay, so it looks like it's not finding the jQuery mobile JavaScript. Okay, let's make sure we have the file name right. Just copy that. Okay, good. The Ajax loader doesn't look like that's found. It's looking in CSS/images. Okay, so we just need to go into the jQuery CSS file, and we want to find that loader image. Okay, right here, and we just want to put a dot and then a slash because it's in the CSS directory, so we want to go out and then into images. Okay, so let's save that. That should be all we need to do to that file. Alright, so we're good. We're not getting any errors. Now let's visit the jQuery mobile documentation, and I just want to show you how the pages are actually set up, if I can find it. Let's see. Properties, reference. Okay, these are all the events. You can look through those, but I'm just trying to find where the page structure goes. Maybe it's not here. Single page. Okay, that's a demo. Here we go, anatomy of a page. Alright, so this is a extremely helpful site with this documentation. Let's just go through it a little bit. The page structure is optimized to support either single pages or local internal linked pages within a page. So basically we're going to have a single page, which is going to be our index file, but we're going to have three different sections. We're going to have the home page, the add page, and the edit page. And basically we just need to separate these by IDs. Okay, so we'll have an ID of home for our home page, an ID of add, and then an ID of edit. And down here you can see, let's see, this is just linking everything. Alright, so inside the body pages, so what you want to do is set a div with and you want to use this data role attribute and set that to page, and basically you want to put all your page content in the middle. When you want a new page, you can create a new div with the data role page, and of course you want to give these IDs so that you can separate them. Here's an example right here. We have basically a whole page. Inside that page you can have the header, data role header, data role footer, and data role content. Alright, let's actually do this. We might be able to explain it a little better if we actually do it. Get that out of here. Alright, so inside the body, we want a home page. Alright, so we're going to create a div and create a data role attribute, and that's going to be set to page, and we're also going to give it an ID of home. And the home page basically is just going to have the list of tasks or to-dos, and then inside here we want to create a header, and we can use HTML5 elements like header, and we still want to give it a data role of header. Okay, close that off, and then in here we'll just put an H1 and we'll say mobile to do. Alright, so if we save this and let's go ahead and view it, you can see that now we have this header with mobile to do. Okay, so next we want the content, which is whatever we want in the middle. So let's go back to Notepad, and under this header I'm going to use another HTML5 element. I'm going to use the main tag, and we want to give this a data role of content, and let's give it an ID of content. So everything is neatly separated into different blocks. Okay. So right now let's just say we'll put in a paragraph. We'll just say some content for now, and then down here we want to use the HTML5 footer tag, and you can probably guess we want the data role to be footer and the ID to be footer. Alright, and then in here we'll put an H4, and we'll just say mobile to do, copyright 2014. Alright, so let's take a look at that. Okay, so we have our header, our content, and our footer, and it's all properly formatted, looks good. It uses the JQuery mobile CSS file. Alright, so let's put some content in here. Let's get rid of this. And the first thing I want to do is I want to put an add to do button. Let's actually look at the finished one. Okay, so we want to put this big add to do button. So here we're going to say I'm going to put this inside of a paragraph tag, and basically I'm going to put a link. Okay, so I'm going to do href, and this is going to go to the add page, which we haven't created yet, so we can reference it with just the pound sign and then add, or whatever the name of the page is going to be. And then we're going to say data role is going to be button, because basically we want it to look and function like a button. And let's see, and that, and then we'll just put in add a to do. Alright, so let's check that out. So now we have our button. I'm actually going to make this smaller, because this is actually meant to be for a mobile device. Alright, so next, whoop. So next I want this clear button. Okay, so down here, I'm going to copy this. Okay, except we want this to go to index. We want this to go to itself, index HTML. We're actually going to attach a JQuery click handler to this to actually get it to do the clearing. Alright, so I'm going to give it an ID of clear button, and I want it to be black, so you can use the data theme attribute. We say data theme, and we're going to use B. Oh, we got to change the text. Okay, so that looks good. Okay, so what I want now is a list view. So I'm going to say UL, and I'm going to give this an ID of actually no, I'm going to give this an ID of to-dos. The data role should be list view. So data role, list view, and we want a filter. So data filter, this is where we get that search bar from, and we would just want to say true for that. And let's see, we want a data filter placeholder. And that's just going to say search to-dos. And then we want one more attribute of data inset, and we want to set that to true. Alright, so what we're going to do now is I'm just going to put in some static to-dos, just using a list item. Meeting with boss. I'm not going to put any dates for now. Dinner with wife. Alright, let's take a look at that. Okay, so we have our search box, we have our list view, and these will be links when we insert them. This is all going to be inserted dynamically through JavaScript. But I'm going to choose here to stop the video. Now that we know pretty much the basics of jQuery Mobile, of the framework, using these data role attributes and all that. And then in the next video, we're going to create our add and our edit pages, and then we're going to add the functionality using local storage.